Hi, today I want to talk about just something that happened this morning that really caused me some trauma. And I'm trying to find the lessons in it so I can share as much as I can. I'm pretty sensitive to animals and their well-being, and I get very emotional if I see something suffering or dying. And I'm sure that's like many people. But I have my share. I've had my share of animals dying in my hands, like wild ones, like birds. And I really don't. It's not pleasant when my own pets kill these innocent animals. They're just minding their own business. There's a bigger lesson here. I'm just kind of telling you what my ego is struggling with right now, which is kind of detaching, non-attachment about the whole thing. Yeah, but my dog this morning, because I let her roam a little bit on the long leash, she shoved her face into a bunny's nest and pulled out a little baby this big. And I didn't know what it was at first. I thought it was a mouse. And I heard it going, like, squealing. And then I realized it was a baby bunny, and it was bleeding because I picked it up and there was blood all over my hands. And I started bawling my eyes out, and I got really angry at my dog. And I know fully that that's her instinct. Like, I get it, Everyone can tell me, well, that's just animals, right? I get it. But I always look for the deeper meanings in these things. And, I had to kind of sit there, and I just kind of waited. It died. I had blood on my hands. I like smacked my dog on the head. I'm like, what'd you do? And then it got on her. I was like blood. It felt like a horror to me. So I went to wash my hands and washed my dog's head. And then I went back because I didn't really put the bunny away from the rest of the babies, because I think they were all still alive except that one. And I thought I better bring it somewhere a little bit, 10 feet away, so the mom will know that something happened. But at least maybe a predator will be less likely to find them if I take away the dead one. So I'm crying and I'm upset with my dog, and I decided just cut the walk short and go home. And I was noticing my entire system reacting to this event. So there's lessons. I'm sure there's more, but I can share some. So the anger is not from my dog. It's not because of my dog. The anger is just a reaction to an inner imbalance of the ego kind of is wounded because there's something inside me that is attached to the innocence, I think, of these animals and how mistreated they are in general in the world. And the anger is more at myself, really, for contributing one moment of that my dog went to kill an innocent animal. It was just in its nest and sleeping, right? So the anger is actually, underlying the anger is actually love, because there's so much love inside me for the well-being of the planet and these animals that one little incident literally tore me apart. And every incident that I'm aware of, that I know of, the whole planet, I can't really be part of it in terms of knowing every detail. I can't be one of those people that stands at a vigil for like pigs being slaughtered. I can't do it. But the pain inside me is so strong that it keeps me from doing those kinds of things. I just don't feel like that's my path. I feel like my path is transforming a lot of the anger that I have and many of these people have into love. And my dog, I'm having trouble looking at her right now. I'm just like, oh, but I know the anger is not at her, it's more at myself. So forgiving myself for whatever I feel that I contributed, and knowing that even the anger towards myself is not actually necessary, because I didn't really do anything wrong, but I do feel bad. The other part is non-attachment, that I have to learn non-attachment, because life is like this. Things end, things begin. And this little creature here has, I know, killed many little bunnies and brought them and left them in my yard dead. And I had to forgive her too. But again, the anger's not at these animals. The anger is actually more just at the injustice in the world and all the death that happens. So the only way to transform this anger is to emit love and transform the anger into love. Because there's not much anger can do except hurt yourself, right? The non-attachment part is really just knowing that these beings are all infinite. That bunny wasn't meant to live, and it had to move on to another body. Its soul was there, and it knew it was going to die. Part of it knew. And if you don't start thinking of things like this in a way that's like, you have to, if you're sensitive like me, you have to start remembering that knowing of infinity, that there's no end. I mean, there's endings and beginnings, but that's the thing. There's always beginnings. So life is infinite. And there's really no such thing as, there's no such thing as real loss. Like, there's a physical loss of a body, but really, yes, okay. This is my baby here. There's a physical loss of a body, but the soul always survives and moves on to other bodies. And so really the non-attachment is really important in a situation like this. So just notice your reactions to things that you feel are not just, and ask yourself if the anger is really serving anything. If you are an animal activist and you're just so angry, your anger's not going to be heard. But if you act in love and you just put an example out there of how you are in service of the world and the planet in a loving way, there's more likely a chance that you will be heard. The bunny, I feel, also probably represented a symbol for me, which I have to meditate on a little bit, because every time I find a dead animal, there's always a reason, or like even a live animal that I don't see often, and it just appears in front of me. There could be a part of me that is being reborn, dying and reborn. Bunnies are, they produce in large amounts, right? So there could be a small part of me that is kind of dying, but not in a bad way. It's for the rebirth of whatever is to come next. And I guess my dog needed to show me that my animals are always giving me messages, my pets. So I'm now when I'm done this video, I'm gonna go and give my dog a hug because I've been staring at her in an angry way, and I know that it's not her fault. And I knew that from the beginning. I was just reacting, right? So always notice your reactions and have faith. Transform into love as much as you can all the imbalances of the ego. The ego wants to react. Let the emotion flow through you, though. Let the anger come through, and then just release it as best you can and accept. Acceptance is a big part of life. That's all I'm going to say right now. I just needed to share that because it was quite traumatizing, but I feel a bit better now. And this is Pipa. I don't know if she's black. Let me see. There, you can see her eyes. She's always here to help me when I'm struggling with something. She always, like, when I'm really, really, really deep into some sort of emotion, I notice she feels it and she comes right up to me. And it's almost like she's like, hey, it's okay. So, yes. I will be making more videos on my pets, and I'm going to try and maybe have 4 pets, 3 cats and a dog. So I'm going to try and post some videos specifically about them. So just tune in. I'll post it online, and it'll be some intuitive healing, maybe some readings on them, and show you how they communicate with you if you really listen. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.